It's probably a personal vlog just for documentation. Today's the 24th of January, 2018. It's 8:50 p.m. I was randomly just screwing with my phone, as I do too much, and I was sitting in the bathroom. Yeah, I was sitting in the bathroom for a second, and I've noted to Boo in the last few weeks that I think it's really odd because I usually have electronics die, and for whatever reason, like I've even had like usually when I get down to the last few percentages on my battery, it usually will just die right away. But I've noticed that since Saturn went into Capricorn, for some reason it's been like noticeably abnormal that my electronics have lived longer, specifically my phone. My phone has been fully charged lately, and I've actually noticed that if you keep it charged solid for a couple hours, like let it fully charge, even when it gets down to like the last 5%, unless you're using a lot of stuff like on my phone, it still will last me for about 20 minutes or so. Without warning, for whatever reason, it just decided to, it was working for Facebook, it was working for all my other bullshit I was doing, but I actually started getting into charts, specifically because I've been having this internal, like, encouragement over and over obsessively for the last couple weeks, that I think I need to do another exorcism thing. I think I need to. And then when the moon was just in Pisces, which was over the weekend, because today is Mercury Day, they were keeping me up all fucking night and driving me crazy, and even making Boo crazy. Granted, Mercury is associated with your mind, and Plutonians have a significant connection with them. I have that Plutonian signature in the Virgo house, so if you watch my Spiritism video, or if anybody actually references this, or I publicize this, that is the house that they enter into the physical world in the mind. So it's like when Freddy Krueger comes into your dreams sort of shit. And like the sequel where the chick actually is forced to be woken up when she's in the midst of the dream fighting him, and he physically actually comes into the real world and he becomes mortal. That's the equivalent of kind of what's going on with that right now. They're physically harassing me because they can get into that 6th house, because we have Mars that's actually at the 29th degree of Scorpio right now, and then we have Jupiter obviously in Scorpio as well, so that's going over that Plutonian signature in that Virgo house. And that's why they've been horribly intense and ridiculous with me. But as I was making a chart and noticing the elemental balances with basically being over exaggerated amounts of earth and water, so all earth and water elements are directly associated with the spirit world. Air is a wild card because they can go either way. It can be manipulated to their will or to, humanity. And then fire's the purification, or how to get rid of it. So there's only 6 things in fire right now, and they're not even major planets also. One of them's the node. And there's 13 in earth and water. So that, when some of my clairvoyant or empathic friends have been saying that they're very strong right now, it's because of the overwhelming elemental balance. And as I was actually getting really detailed and meticulous about it, and making an image, I was about to actually share it. It didn't have any problems or anything. I was about to actually share it to Facebook. I hit the actual share button, and it froze, and then it wouldn't let me take a screen cap. My phone just went black for no reason, even though it had 25-something%. And then I talked shit when I was getting up out of the bathroom or whatever. I said, that's cool, I shouldn't be hanging out in the bathroom anyway, because they're notorious for pulling me in there and keeping me in there. That I decided to get up, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck if you turn my phone back on, because usually when it goes black, I have to reboot it. I have to like hold down the actual buttons, and I have to manually reboot it up, and then start the actual processor again. And then it's like with a computer. I just hit the normal power button, and it turned back on, and said that it's at 1% blinking. So I'm like, so you just took 24% of my fucking battery in less than 60 seconds? And then I said, don't worry, if you turn my phone back on, I'm not gonna fucking stay in the bathroom now. I'm gonna go get my whiteboard, and I'm gonna do it fucking old school. I'm gonna start fucking drawing it out and shit. And I was talking to Boo about it, so I know I ramble a lot, and usually when I end up start talking to Boo about something, it tends to be something that I should likely review, either for myself or whatever later. So I'm just gonna leave that going. I'll cut out what I don't need. You motherfuckers. You think you're fucking smart. I've had way too much documentation of them directly interfering with shit. And I hate fucking being interrupted. Or basically people fucking getting into my business aka indirectly like needing me or interrupting something I'm fucking working on. So I remember thoroughly every fucking time they intentionally make it obvious that they're trying to interrupt my shit. By the way, dead people, the worst thing you could fucking do is continue. I know you're just trying to distract me and deter me, but the worst thing you could fucking do is repeatedly fucking make it clear that you're doing this, because now you could have at least thoroughly continued to convince me that you're not fucking real. But because you've thoroughly pissed me off and you've repeatedly, synchronistically tried to fuck with me and sabotage me or interrupt when I'm working on something important, when I know it's something important, I now thoroughly am just out for blood, to be out for fucking blood. Even if I could get over that they fucking cause flu, and that they're trying to kill people all the time, and that they're the ones that cause a lot of my nerve pain. I remember that thing in fucking Goldfield caused all that nerve pain in my fucking arm just for me asking if I could take a selfie with it, and it got pissed. So, I have this feeling, since it has to do with muscles, and I'm sure nerves as well, from that fucking car accident I got into, because I decided to leave the house without my goddamn crystals for 5 minutes, and the same fucking right down the block that I go through multiple times a fucking day that I've never had problems with, somehow a car out of fucking nowhere from California of all places fucking hits me, and then everybody's like, well, at least it didn't totally fuck up your car. I'm like, yeah, it hit me fucking perfectly dead center on the side of me, and I have scoliosis. The only reason why I fucking found out I had scoliosis in the first place is because I got in a car accident about 10 to 12 years ago, and when I claimed on the insurance that my back was hurting, they were like, oh my god, well, you either got mangled in a huge fucking pileup and or you have scoliosis. And so I'm just like, yep. And I'm like, that fucking wreck hit us, the car I was actually in, we rear-ended somebody. So that one didn't hurt me as bad. But the fact that it hit me dead center on the fucking side of me is actually fucked up my back even worse. And my back usually doesn't hurt when I'm standing up, but it's actually been hurting the second I got my fucking whiteboard out. Just makes me think back to that fucker messing with my nerves and shit. You're not fucking funny. What are you doing, babe? Oh. Are you meditating or something?
Kind of.
Alright. You can talk. I'm gonna cut some of this out and just leaving it just in case I say something important. Or fucking being therapeutic or some fucking shit. Fucking stupid. So, on January 31st, 2018, which is actually Mercury Day, I've just confirmed that. That's the same day that I talked to the things in Goldfield on the Lemira night. And it's the same day I did the Exorcism ritual for Lithia. I both did them on a Mercury Day. Obviously, in Goldfield, they overpowered me, and we were there at like 1:30 in the morning. So it's nighttime, which is their dominant time. And I did the Lithia ritual at 12 p.m., because that's obviously when you're supposed to be doing it, pagan tradition anyway, which was obviously the middle of the day. So the polarizing phenomenon with that. So Mercury Day is the common denominator, which is an air sign, and like I said, it had duality with Mercury, with Gemini and Virgo. The Virgo house is where the portal of the ethers enter. And then it also shares, it's able to infiltrate your mind too. Because of the whole crux with the mind. The left side of the brain and the right side of the brain. The right side of the brain has the moon and Neptune. This is Mercury and Jupiter. So, Moon Day is their ample day to influence people. At least the left side of the brain, or the right side of the brain that they control. And then Thursday, which Neptune and Jupiter Day. That's when they control that. So those are the 2 days that are no-go. I have this feeling that I've had bad experiences on these days for some reason. So no. But Mercury associated with the Jupiter side. So Thursday can technically be like either or. Maybe. And so Wednesday and Thursday. For some reason I want to like reassign this Neptune day instead of it being, because Neptune's technically not rules Thursday. That's just the modern association with Jupiter. I would associate it more with maybe Friday, or I really want to say Saturday because of Saturn. So Friday or Saturday, I know for sure are fucking bad days for me to do shit like that. Monday I also get threatened a lot. Wednesday has been when I've had the most help, or I've been successful with exorcisms. Thursday is the day that they've helped me find books, references, or cued me in on important information I need to know. So, the supermoon, it's a supermoon. It's still recording, right? Okay. The supermoon that's happening on Mercury Day on the 31st. It's a blood moon. So the Earth is here, the moon is there, the sun is there, it's projecting out, and makes this, and that's what makes it red. So it's a blood moon, which is a lunar eclipse. So that means that the moon is actually not in between the sun and the Earth. The Earth and the sun are having a direct correlation. And then the moon is a super one for this one. So it's going to be as close to the Earth as it possibly can be. Which would actually explain, too, with that coming up. Because the whole waxing and waning of moon cycles thing. So like a new moon, and then the crescent, and then half, and then full. That's building up, powering up. So they're powering up right now for this full moon. And that's when they're supposed to be, quote-unquote, the most powerful, because we're into Aquarius season. With a shit ton of stuff in Saturn, or Capricorn. With an earth and water overwhelming influence. But, so, I guess I probably am going to end up uploading this. This, for anybody out there who's been talking to me about actually doing cleansing, or not just cleansing, because anybody can do the cleansing thing and just smudge, but some of the star seeds or the empaths that have been specifically asking for instruction from me to do banishment or exorcism rituals, this is not a good time for you to do this just because I say this. It's because I'm different from everybody else, and so everything works ass backwards for me. So Scorpio or Jupiter, that's a shitty ass marker. Here we go. Mars, is in Scorpio at 29 degrees. So I have Pallas in Sagittarius at 1 degrees. Then I have my North Node at 2 degrees of Aries. This 11th house, 6th house. And then I have Black Moon Lilith, which is why they keep saying they fucking miss me. Because since my sun is at 2 degrees of Libra, that's the super galactic center. That's the massive black hole that's eating all the galaxies. And then I have my moon, which is supposed to be my soul and my, the right side of my brain, so my consciousness before I was here. And Saturn and Ceres, which is opposition with my Chiron. So that's like my actual psychic signature I have. That is at 27 degrees of Sagittarius, and that is the galactic center. So myself, my soul, and my, like the origin of where I am, because Saturn's the origin, is all from the black holes, and that's what Philip said, what kept saying about your black holishness and your dark stuff and your fucking experiences with the dark side. Well, and then he fucking pointed out that I had a fucking Neptune square sun, which means that I'm not aware of stuff. So he actually fucking told me that, and when he told me that, I rewatched it so many fucking times. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, I know I'm really morbid and dark and Plutonian, but are you insinuating that I'm that fucking Plutonian? That, yeah? And I was like, apparently I'm completely oblivious, and I was, to all the shit that I was dealing with. But yeah, so anyway, Mars is going to go into Sagittarius, because today's the 24th. I think it's going to be like the 25th, or the 26th, which is right before they get super fucking powerful, even though they're powerful now. But the beauty of this is that this is a fire trine. Fire trine is associated with Lithia. Lithia is how I cleansed and exorcised, or fucking actually sealed that motherfucker in that amulet and buried it. So it's Lithia specifically, and the fire trine, which is the triangular things that are supposed to help purge these things, or at least, put up a barrier, is the one fucking thing, elemental-wise and shape-wise, to get rid of these assholes. So since Mars is actually about to be directly conjunct with my fucking Pallas, what does Pallas represent again? Talents and gifts, ideas, justice, proactive, artistic, independent, intuition, wisdom, defense, intelligence, strategic, cerebral, associations with father-daughter dynamics, or interconnected with the sign of Libra. It also rules over, it's Jupiter's daughter, and it rules over daddy issues, conflict, legal battles, injustice, illness caused by weakened immune system. So specifically that one side, justice, intelligence, strategic, cerebral, proactive, defense, Mars is going to be fucking conjunct with that. And that's in the same sign as my psychic signature, which gives me the capacity to fucking know ahead of time about stupid shit like this. And it being in a fire trine with my north node means that my whole goal or mission in general, or what I'm supposed to fucking do, like balls to the wall, do or die, is to purify, cleanse, or eliminate things with fire. And because Lilith is the bottom of this foundation, Black Moon Lilith has to do with all the ether spirits and the souls, just like I talked about in my Origins of Saturn and Lilith video. So, I was influenced by them when I was young, because I come from the galactic center holes, the black holes. That's why they say they miss me. Then it shoots over to my Pallas, because once I start to learn that they're actually directly or indirectly influencing other people around me to make my fucking life really, really hectic and awful, that's when I realize that they're doing this. That's when I start to go on Pallas, like, almost because social justice, I don't want to say social justice warrior, but crazy, like, defensive stuff. And that's what I'm about to do. And then I've been getting closer to, obviously, my North Node purpose, because I just went through my Saturn return thing. Yep. So, if it's a bad time for everybody to do exorcisms or sealing things, that means it's the perfect time for me to do it. And that's why that motherfucker killed my phone in the bathroom. Yep. Because, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I'm, synthetically pumped up, amped up or whatever, to help me confront things, because I'm a Libra. I don't necessarily like confrontation from the get-go. I've just been completely immersed in it, and I found out if you roll over backwards or fucking just crawl and bundle up into a fucking ball and give up, that they still keep beating on you. I don't know if that happens with everybody, but they still do that. I've not always been confrontational or an asshole. It took years and years of fucking continuous neglect, abuse. Well, not neglect, but abuse or just bullying in general. Yeah. Now I'm going in that whole Chiron Pisces reflecting thing. But it took a long fucking time to be continually kicking me over before I actually decided to go, fuck this. I'm out for blood. So fuck this. I'm out for blood. You're going down, asshole. And I already took the Wi-Fi off my damn laptop while I'm doing this, because I would not be surprised.
All I need is an open mind.
Well, boo, I can't help that my mind's open.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be Scorpion Man, Gatekeeper first.
Well, it's not necessarily a Scorpio thing, it's my Uranus and my 7th house thing. It makes me...
The Babylonian texts you refer to this specific breed as kind of being stuck with this.
Oh, I know. I mean, well, that's the whole, being associated with Hades and stuff. I already said that. But what I'm saying is that there's a difference between when you get, like, inkling feelings about, this isn't necessarily probably a good idea. And when I just go, hell yeah, I'm going to do exactly the worst fucking thing you could possibly do because I feel the need I have to do this. And if not, I'm going to learn a really, really valuable lesson that I'm never going to forget. Yeah, the whole me thinking like, oh, that person's acting really psychotic. That's not a red flag. I shouldn't judge them because I have all kinds of mental problems. That's really blown. Yeah, I see. What? What did you do?
Mistress of Chalices.
Ah.
Put chalices too in your own Lexia.
Chalice is water. Yeah, actually, found every single. Well, I think Boo did. I found all of my kind of tarot cards I have.
My bad. Maiden of Chalices.
Either way, it's a water thing, so it's something associated with souls. No fucking wonder. I don't even really like this deck too much, but this is the deck I used to talk to the weird fucking crazy ladies from the Oregon Trail thing in Stanfield. That spread was actually interesting. Said that I was going to be talking to somebody who is a Scorpio lady influenced, who's going to be teaching me or directing me in some way to something I need to know. I'm just kind of like, that's funny. I think that I was actually talking about myself. I don't like coins. I don't like these cards. Anybody watching this? I take out the minor arcana because what the fuck is the point of these?
Minor detail versus the major archetypal.
I know, but that means I actually have to.
People reading. That's the only
Yeah,
difference.
I actually have to memorize the book. Because funny enough, people go, "Wow, you're really good at tarot cards." I never even had the patience to read the interpretations book. Like I kind of referenced it a couple times. I'm like, God, this is so annoying. And then I joined a couple tarot groups online, and then I've noticed that they will do all these different kinds of sets, and then they'll also they'll like do if they pull it upside down or something like that, then they'll fucking have a different meaning to that. I'm like, dude, that's so bullshit. And I'm like, the one thing I've noticed too is even the people that are quote unquote paying or typically have quote unquote an accurate record of shit like that, those people are still a dime a dozen in all these fucking groups. I'm like on 5 or 6 of these groups, which I've been deleting myself slowly over time. But they all say, what do you think this means? And I'm like, if you're fucking drawing tarot cards and you have to actually ask other people what they think this means, clearly it's the same.
You're not capable of using them.
Well, it's not just that. It makes me think of all the new age astrologers that like go, okay, so I know what all these asteroids are here, or they do their astro.com chart, and it shows like all the fucking asteroid points and extra things and stuff, and they're going on all these astrology forums and they're saying, so what does this mean? What does that mean? And I'm just like, dude, I didn't even use any of those things. And honestly, I used to be just as stupid with it like that until I actually started saying, I'm not actually going to incorporate any of the asteroids. I didn't even do Chiron for the longest time, which is, I should be, that's blasphemy level for me because I have Chiron in my first house and it's associated with the fucking psychic signature. I was even excluding Chiron, and that's one of the major aspect points in my chart. I started with the fucking medieval basics, and I noticed that I was actually dead accurate, that's not supposed to be a pun, but accurate when I used just more of just the core and not overcomplicate things. And I have yet to have one tarot spread that wasn't accurate. And by the way, anybody who's into tarot that's watching this, that's not into astrology, you're not going to be able to do this unless you have astrological knowledge, so good luck. There is a tarot group that's supposed to be the Tarot Symbolism Association with Astrology. But I haven't even opened up that group because, yeah, there's no hope. I'm convinced. I'm gonna borrow this.
The key thing to understand practices like this, too, is you're tuning your own mind to understand and read symbolic sets. And it's kind of bridging the unconscious, which already sees everything, into the conscious, which is pretty fucking dense by comparison.
And think of people are well. So see my psychic signature. It's all on fire. So like I actually pick up on things before they happen or something that's useful. You know what I mean? But people that are empathic or sensitive or psychics that were all with water, they have no fucking sense of reason. So like, they're like spiritually fucking autistic already. That's the problem. Okay.
Well, oftentimes, I just speak from experience, from strange and all that stuff, we channel things that really do not apply in the mundane, but are still relevant and important, but cannot be understood by anybody except for our own clique.
Yep. That's funny. I was trying to think what I'm doing this card thing for, and every time, even if I start doing it before I decide what it is, it just ends up attributing to the moment now, because that's pretty much how it works. That's how it looks if I'm looking at a chart, right? I started thinking, yeah, this will be for right now. And it's... So if anybody's actually interested in what spread I'm doing, by the way, I have... Let me pull this out. Try to make it stable, and now I'm trying to pull it out. So I do one card up top. Well, I do a card that I don't flip over yet, that I put sideways on top. Then I put one on top of that. And then I do 4 falling at the bottom. It's supposed to actually be... It was supposed to be a trolling thing that I found online that I thought was funny. And I tried it just to be a sarcastic asshole, because that's when I was skeptical about the tarot thing still. I still am thoroughly convinced, and I stand by what I say. If you're not intuitive already, no matter if you can follow like the procedures of how you use the tarot deck, but it's not going to fucking be successful and you don't know what the fuck it says, and that's why everybody asks about it, if you're not actually intuitive. So if you're dense as fuck and you have no fucking, clairvoyant or intuitive anything, then these aren't going to work for you, and you're going to be one of those idiots in the tarot groups. But what in the actual fuck is the name of the spread? So what is the Lovers, which is me and Boo talking about this right now. The Star, which is the one that's usually associated with me in that Planetary Times app. So what in the actual is the 2 lovers of the person who's the star, which is me. So me and Boo talking about temperance. What does temperance mean again, Boo?
Temperance literally comes from a forging term, tempering, which means to even out and refined by hammering. There's refinement and control.
So temperance of the hangman. The hangman is associated with the dead, and then the herald. I can't ever say that one, but it's associated with Taurus and justice. So Palace is in Taurus right now, so that's how I associate with that. So it's me talking to Boo about redefining how we are dealing with the dead people, and specifically how we can contain them or get back at them. Because, yeah, since that's in Taurus, that right now is in Taurus, that's how I associate astrology with this. So the Lovers is Gemini, so that's us talking right now in this area. Gemini is associated with the immediate environment about me and how I can basically how I can find a way to redo this or to be more successful or whatever, temperance, what you're saying, with the dead people to have justice. See? So that's how that works.
Temperance would mean moderation, self-control, that kind of thing.
Right. Well, that's my problem. Because I don't want to be fucking left... I don't want to fixate on these things. I don't want to fucking deal with these assholes all the time. And I really don't want to have to smoke 3 or 4 bowls of fucking weed that normally puts me out. And then I turn around and not even barely get a fucking hour of sleep. And turn around and I'm fucking wide awake. And I even try to sit there for a long time until I'm bored out of my fucking gourd. And then that's when I was at least playing music and stuff. Or playing a video in the background. Thinking that like, okay, so I'll like vaguely, be interested in this. And then maybe I'll fall asleep. You can attest for a fact. I've been fucking up for the last couple nights.
Yeah.
And the fucking trine with the moon being in Pisces in conjunct with Neptune, which Neptune and Pisces is why they're coming back and they're strong. That's the fucking signature that's associated with Spiritism. So those motherfuckers were keeping me up. And all I have to say, dude, that is the wrong fucking strategy.
The essence of this entire spread now, as I understand it, is temperance and refinement.
So basically what I was trying to get at is that I don't want to deal with this shit like on blast all the time. I want to be able to recognize when it's happening, know exactly what's efficient, foolproof, like I can put on a calendar, this is the fucking day next week that I'm going to do this ritual, I'm going to fucking make this amulet real quick because I can bust out crafts like no mother, and I'm gonna sit there and just take a half an hour at noon in the day, fucking seal the asshole in it, bury it. When we go out and go look for fucking plants or whatever, I'll just simultaneously, two birds, one stone, fucking bury its ass, just like I did with the first one, somewhere else, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to make this drama. I don't want to be fucking completely immersed in this all the time. The whole reason why I'm struggling with this is because they're really fucking with my head. Like, really. And, yeah, so me trying to keep focus on top of that. Really. I'm just like, That's okay, that's okay. Piss me off, dude, piss me off. Because I could let things go, I could forget things, but the best way to make me not forget things is to piss me off, and you guys keep fucking pissing me off. And I don't care if it's because you guys don't want me to do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fucking do it. Anyway, these are my awesome... I got these the first cards that I ever got. I was willing to get. They're called the Karma cards. And they're only Zodiac-associated things. So it's supposed to be Mars, Sun, Venus, Saturn. I should just treat them like I do the spread. Instead of actually... Okay. Let's do...
No, I did, when I was doing it in my own deck here, I did draw a card relevant to the Venus sphere for now, which is kind of like what you did there. Yours was, that one had to do more with Gemini, but it was the Lovers, and that one was also the same title there for that card.
Yeah.
This deck being odd, but its interpretation for a specific reason.
Right.
Namely for reading material, and it makes sense. Anyways, and that was also symbolized by the double tetrahedron, which was the bridging between causal and acausal, which was representing, now take that as you will.
That's because Mars is about to go into Sagittarius, and even though I have Sagittarius in my 7th house, the 6th house I've told you from you know my Spiritism video, the ethers come through the Pisces realm, this 12th house. That's the whole Holy Ghost impregnating the Virgin, the Virgo Virgin. That's the symbology in the Bible. So the polarity, as I've said with medical astrology, they originate in the Pisces 12th house. That's why you're immersed in them, because your Pluto's in there. The polarity, they come into the actual physical world to the 6th house, Virgo. That's the Holy Ghost impregnating the Virgin, aka spirit possession, essentially. Or then the spirit, the acausal spirit actually becoming a physical body. So Mars, associated with defense, being combative. I already listed off what Pallas represents. Pallas is part of that fire trine that I have, that is what gives me the capacity to, you know, basically put them in a damn box like Hellraiser status. So since Scorpio is the sign that Mars is in right now, Mars is about to go exactly conjunct by exact degree with that Pallas.
Now what followed were the cards Mistress of Earth, which represents the feminine dark aspect, or more here and less there. So, you know, a very earthbound kind of concept. In layman's terms, Baphomet, but I don't like using the stereotypical imagery. Following that was Azoth, which is represented by the decapitated Opfer, which is, in ancient ritual times, a man of 17 years would be sacrificed in order to presence things.
Like the Aztec thing.
Kind of like that. And then his head would then be removed and placed upon the altar. It's all representative of the rites of recalling, which solidify the bonds between here and there.
Right.
The ultimate result of this was Desire, which is odd. The artwork depicting a man trying to compose a musical piece of some kind.
That's
and he looks like to be lost in concentration. In the background are the symbols of Saturn, a scythe, so on and so forth. I can look up again the exact association out for that one. The key point of these cards is also the artwork depicted itself and what they evoke in you.
Right. So it's funny, I picked these cards randomly, which is the sign I grabbed. The South Node, which is the planet one I grabbed. And...
By the way, Azoth, the decapitated man, represents the sun.
Yeah. In the 9th house. So Sagittarius. My South Node is in the Leo house. And then Virgo is the Leo house, the 5th house too. 5, 5, 9. Okay. So it says... This is actually really trippy what these cards say. So, in Virgo it says, the serving of others, remember, as if it or they came from God. As if it or they came from God. That's so funny. That's exactly what I was just talking about, Boo. I was talking about the Virgo house and the Pisces polarity and the spirits or whatever. Serving of others, remember as if they came from God. That's the spiritual level. Then the mind level is the details. Reconsider. That's so funny. Reconsider the philosophies and the laws involved. Philosophies and laws involved, which is exactly what I'm going into. Okay, more validation. And then on the physical level, it's, let's see. Physical level, it says, do what you must. I like the sound of that. Now is not the time. Okay. Now is not, well, not right the second. Not the time. I need to wait until, obviously, there's more fire involved. Not the time. Do it in a big way. Oh my god, isn't that Trump all the way? Do it in a big way.
The final result is represented by Jupiter, by the way, for what that's worth to you.
Well, that's funny. That's what I was just saying. The 9th house is the last card. Doing it big way. That's the Jupiter house.
For those of you listening, that is A211. For those of you who want to double check my work.
Yeah. So remember I said my palace is in Sagittarius? And that's part of that grand trine of fire? And that's the key to my psychic signature. So you just said that the ending outcome is going to be Sagittarius?
It's just Jupiter in nature.
Meaning, my Jupiter's in my 12th house still, but that means I'm multiple Sagittarius influence. That's what it, well, that and also Jupiter's in Scorpio right now too. Which is right on. So, yeah. So Jupiter's going over my Plutonian signature, which is in the physiological plane, which means that somebody living on this side that's highly influenced by Sagittarius or Jupiter is going to be the winner. That's me, motherfucker. I'm the only live one here, and I'm the only one that's got a significant amount of the Jupiter Sagittarius thing going on. That I can, I guess, validate. I can't really look up the charts of the dead people. And they're not even dead people, but think about it this way. Like, people who have watched some of my astropsychoanalytic development kind of videos, how if you don't actually make both neurological connections within the brain on both sides of the hemisphere, that you have some sort of, learning defect or cognitive issue or whatever, or developmental and everything. So think about when the dead people die, they don't remember necessarily everything. If specifically Mercury and Jupiter are associated with the physiological realm, where you actually start developing a sense of autonomy and things that you like and preferences and, your associations with the physical world, when they die, since that part of the brain only develops in life, they don't take that part of the brain with them because it's gone. So the only remnants of the brain they have is the Neptune and Moon side. And no offense to anybody who's water, but we both have this discussion. Water people are not very logical. They're dense as fuck.
Fuck causal.
Right. So think of every single dead thing, no matter how powerful, how old it is, how much it fucking knows, how many fucking loopholes it can pull. It's only got the maximum capacity of the right hemisphere of the brain. So it's as if they're missing half their brain. It's like Lacey. So even at their best, every single, disembodied whatever is only got half its brain like Lacey. That explains why they don't know who the fuck they are and they don't know what's going on. And that also explains why they're more psychopathic too, because remember too, before, theoretically, with the way I acted behavior-wise and neurologically, I didn't actually engage that side of my brain. My chart already says that I was debilitated with my learning cognitive processes, meaning that side of my brain wasn't working. You know that I was an airhead and a dipshit years ago. And even when you met me, I was smarter than I was before. So it's been like a really painful process. So notice that my psychopathic features or my predatory kind of things happen more so when I wasn't engaging both hemispheres of the brain. So that means that the ethers are actually like disembodied psychopaths, which totally explains them.
Obviously, the essence is too that is the natural law of things, and they're essences of nature. Nature is not nice.
Right.
Include what you will.
Well, that's what I just said. So naturally everything, just by the astrological cosmic origin, they're all psychopaths, predators, all the dead things, everything. Some of them are more aggressive than others. They all have motives. Like for me, for example, people go, well, you were diagnosed as psychopathy and you didn't actually, turn into Ted Bundy, which, funny enough, I actually have the same kind of correlating features. If you go watch my psychopathy and astrology video, I have just as many signatures when you're counting them, elemental influences, as Ted Bundy. But I obviously haven't done what Ted Bundy did, but my motives weren't to go around and start slaughtering people. Because I'm a Libra naturally, so I'm just like, I just want to do what I want and be happy and be lazy and just don't get in my way of doing that. And that's when my psychopathy side comes out. But if there's people that are like Ted Bundy kind of influences, more or less, that are then dead, those are the ones that will, remember how in the car and stuff, the ones that would be like me, that like don't care to actually plot and do something to you, would just be like, when I was saying, is there going to be an earthquake thing? Is there going on? It's like, don't care. I don't care. That would be me. That's me. I don't care. But the ones that actually just are vindictive or whatever, those ones are the ones that actually are physically harming people and becoming poltergeists. Yes. That makes total sense. That actually explains disembodied everything. So that's when they say they're dissolving. You have to build up or, actually develop that left side of your brain when you're alive. And just like with Alzheimer's or, just aging in general, your brain activity starts to diminish over time. So if we use the brain kind of analogy with that, they have everything that's associated with the right side of the brain, the moon and the Neptune and everything, but it's slowly dissolving as the reincarnation process is going on. So basically even the nicest people turn into full fucking blown zombie psychopath things when they're dead, having likely no recollection of who they were, and it's all just animal instinct at that point. And that actually explains thoroughly why I need to start fucking figuring out a foolproof, systematic way of locking them all in fucking boxes. Because that's the only thing you can do with psychopaths and ravaged animals, is to fucking lock them up or kill them. And since I can't kill them since they're already dead, I'm gonna lock them up. And if, theoretically, I'm not saying I do, theoretically if I have 20 of them, like the dude from Goldfield said, and I've only locked one away, that technically means I've got 19 more times to practice. And I have a feeling that some of the times where I'm going to try to do this, I'm not going to be successful. So that's when I'll probably need you. Or we'll need to make sure that foolproof, like we know for sure it actually went in there or whatever else. However, we need to actually, thoroughly be sure about that. Because I guarantee you, the way that this has to work, the way that it usually works with me, a couple of these attempts that I'm going to do, I'm going to not be successful or I'm going to fuck up. But I don't care.
It's not a resonant material, so it won't really do anything.
Well, you've seen I know, you've seen my video, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't actually put it in a box, but like, I put it, I had that burlap sack or whatever, that was actually, I stitched in fresh sage into it, and I put the actual amulet that I made, that I put him in that, and then I sealed it in there with all the symbols on it. And I just didn't feel like that burlap sack was efficient enough to keep him in there. So I found one of those wooden boxes I got from all the, craft warehouse shit I got. I got that, I was able to shove that thing in there, and I took a whole fucking roll of industrial duct tape, and I duct taped it around so it can't open, people can't fuck with it, because I wasn't sure if it gets wet, does it let it out? Is it like a puzzle box thing? Is that thing barely in there? I didn't want to just go bury a fucking burlap sack I got from Walmart and hope that was going to keep it in there. I was just being really obsessive. So I made the amulet, I put the amulet in a plastic bag, I put the plastic bag in the burlap sack, I put the burlap sack symbols on it, I tied it, I entwined it and tied it up with sage. I put, I think I put some like St. John's wort in the bag too. And then the next couple days, I found that box, put it in that box. Because I was thinking I'm going to go bury it. And I'm like, well, how deep do I have to bury this? And what are the chances it'll just get, basically unearthed anyway? Like, I don't know what that's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be a puzzle box thing or if it just gets out, if it touches nature. I didn't know. So I just felt like overkill. So I wrapped it in that white duct tape in that box, and then I put some sort of symbol on it that's supposed to be associated with binding things, or something that's supposed to be associated with the stronghold.
The horns they don't concern themselves with metaphysical things too much. Use the staves from now on.
See, that's what I need to know. See, that's one of the things I've been asking you. I need to know what symbols I should put on it. But yeah, so...
Don't ever use Norse symbolism for that, because I don't give a shit.
Okay, well, again, you weren't here, nobody's been here. That's the whole reason why I'm actually having to do this trial and error and learn it the hard way. is because I've thoroughly looked through all ancient text references I can find, and the Babylonians do actually reference a little bit about the rituals, but whoever has been actually transcribing, like the Oxford whatever in London, that actually was transcribing the Babylonian stones or whatever, they decided to leave out, I don't know if that's actually intentional or not, but they decided to specifically leave out the detailed step-by-step ritualistic process and how they physically bound them or whatever in the Babylonian sorcery stuff. So that's where I had to fill in the blanks and figure out how to do it all by myself. So, but that's supposed to be why your North Node's near my Plutonian signature, boo. You're supposed to help me with the stupid little details like that. Because I'm just going to go, yeah, I'm going to scribble on anything.
First thing to understand, too, is that there is not an exact step-by-step thing. It is entirely an intuitive art.
Right, I understand that. But, like, we've already talked about this with, like, how detail-oriented I am. And how, even when I get coaxed up in, you've mentioned this, how I get coaxed up in the details.
Yeah.
How I really fucking get completely all balls to the wall in it, and I believe it, and it starts to really fuck with me. I can use that same kind of advantage to this. So if I feel I have, like, a complete concrete, even if it's not something that works for everyone, I already re-emphasized that. If it's not a complete concrete way for anybody to use it, which I'm not insinuating it is, if I make myself, like, rehearse it and I'm confident that that is what specifically exactly will work for me every time, that psyching myself out, or that really, really intense Plutonian mentality will just go, this motherfucker's done. Because I'm doing this, 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 and this. You're fucking dead. And that's, yeah.
Sorry, I was noting one thing with your previous ritual, too, and I was thinking about this. You were facing north, right?
Yeah.
Midnight? Winter?
I was facing north on the summer solstice, during noon.
So you were channeling the themes relevant to winter aspects, being Capricorn, Scorpio, things like that, leading into Aquarius.
I wasn't even thinking of that. I was honestly, like, I looked up things about Lithia.
Yeah.
From that Wiccan book I have. And specifically it said that that's the day they do Lithia rituals, and that's supposed to be the day that Lithia is supposed to more or less help you to purge any negativity from your home. So I was specifically doing the Lithia ritual. That was the whole point why I did it on the solstice. Because I started finding the St. John's Wort like a week or two before that all happened, and then I looked up in one of my books, and I'm like, hey, well, that's convenient. That's why I found it all.
Yeah, no, facing north, you're channeling literal dark and winter and Scorpio, Capricorn, Saturn.
But I'm a Saturn. I'm from black holes.
I was saying, but it's at odds with what you were trying to do.
Right.
Everything you were channeling with the direction and all that is completely at odds with what you're trying to do.
But I was successful, though.
Yeah.
But the positive, happy things tell you not to abuse or basically abuse free will. Or to every single person that's watched that, including like that crazy guy from Leavenworth, he says, you're not supposed to seal him in stuff. That's going to come back on you. That's obviously my Plutonian thing.
Nobody's going to come back on you. If you can bend it to your will, it's your bitch. That's the law.
Well, no, I don't actually believe that, hence why I still do it. But what I'm saying is that if you're saying when I was facing north that I'm invoking Saturn, which is supposed to be something that confines and in the Keeper of Souls, actually facing north was the best thing to do. Because that's what I asked. I asked Pluto and Saturn to help me hold it back.
Yep.
Because that's the huge, like, spiritual war that's been going on in all the mythology, is with Jupiter and Saturn. Even though they're one and the same, they're both brothers because it's the symbol the same upside down.
Yeah.
Saturn's the one that contains and has the self-control. You already know how that goes. The self-control and being able to go, no, you can't do this. No, you have to contain yourself. Because you know how that is. So it's Saturn that's the stern one that says no. So think of Isaac being Jupiter and me being Saturn.
Reading the septenary gateways, Pluto leads right up into the Saturn sphere, which is a direct flow of a causal into causal.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is that in ancient astrology, Jupiter is associated with Neptune, right? So the Neptune and the 12th house is associated with ethers. So one and the same, even though Jupiter's always seen as the good fucking thing, which I've always said that it's not, that's actually the modern or even the ancient association with the fucking ethers. So the thing that holds back the ethers is Osiris, the Grim Reaper, Saturn, Satan, holding back the souls from that one tier from the other dimension. Remember we talked about that? That 7 levels of Earth reincarnation thing I was blabbing on about the pyramid on the wall. Mm-hmm. That last one before you get to the top tier that's associated with Neptune and Jupiter is the Saturn one, and everything else below it is all the 7 Earths. So The top tier is actually the heavens, or the spirit realm, and the rest of it is the actual physical earth world. And it's Saturn, the gates of Saturn, literally Satan, or whatever, holding back all of the ethers. And that's specifically when Neptune squared Saturn. Neptune in Pisces is associated with the spirits getting out. Squaring Saturn would be the spirits, basically their energy being so intense, they basically caused a floodgate and completely demolished Saturn's hold. So me actually invoking Saturn and Pluto, because Hades, and as well as Saturn being the keeper of souls, is the only way that I can actually trap them in boxes. And that's actually specifically why they want me to do this, or they need me to do this, because of that Saturn association I have. Not only do I have that strong Saturn signature with Uranus as well, and I've got it in that trine to Jupiter, which is in the same sign as that grand trine of fire that's supposed to purify things. They need me specifically because I'm actually conjunct with the black hole. So again, I was specifically born to shut people down, living or dead, and fucking, yeah, contain them. Which makes sense why I just physically want to get involved and physically manhandle people all the time. It's in my nature. They need me to do it. And they also know that I won't ever keep my mouth shut. So there's that. 2 birds, 1 stone. I can be their stool pigeon, and I can fucking help them seal shit in boxes. They can't do that. Just like in the Freddy Krueger movie, how that one chick tries to be woken up when she has Freddy Krueger in her hands. Freddy Krueger can only be killed if he's brought into the mortal world, which is the 12th to the 6th house. And the only way that you can do it is if somebody who physically is living in the dream pulls him into that world and kills him or confines him. That was what they were trying to do in the sequels to Freddy Krueger. That's why they keep the Freddy Krueger thing keeps coming back to me. So everything that all the star seeds or the empaths that are the more watery or earth that are actually like basically fucking puppets and have the ethers up their ass their whole life without realizing it. That's also why the Bible says to not listen to fortune tellers or anybody who talks to spirits is of the devil, because they don't even realize that they're basically playing Stockholm Syndrome with the living people. They try to make them feel, just like with Nostradamus, they try to make them feel like that they're their friend, or they're giving them input on things, just like they tried to do that with me. They tried to give me information, make it seem like they're on my fucking side. But I know better when somebody's gonna fuck with me. So that's the problem with all the people that are the watery types that go, don't hurt them. And I'm like, yeah, you're not saying that don't hurt them because you fucking understand, like the guy in Leavenworth. Don't hurt them. It's not because you understand what they are and that we shouldn't. It's because they're fucking speaking through your mouth and telling me not to fucking hurt you. But if Saturn's been confining and fucking holding in souls for the entire existence of eternity or whatever else, all the cosmic whatever, and he's the top dog and nobody can fuck with Saturn, that means that there's no reason I can't fucking confine these things.
They're the consequence of Enki.
So let's see. The 21st, the summer solstice, was first day of summer. That's celebrated by Wiccans and witches throughout the world. It's known as the midsummer, the Alban, the Lithia. Marks the longest day of the year. And the sun is at the zenith. What is zenith?
Zenith, at the peak.
Right. Wiccan traditions of summer solstice symbolize the end of the reign of the waxing year's oak king. Hey! That was that one thing that said to me in the video, too. Like I said, Ether answered me, he goes, King! The reign... Yeah.
Oak king?
Yeah.
Usually an autumn-related thing?
Yeah.
That's some king in yellow business there.
Yeah, the thing that I was locking in the box claimed to be the king.
You don't lock anything like that away. It locks you away.
Well, that's the thing that I put in that box, and I was in that bag, and I was skeptical if it worked. And then that was the reason why that fucking energy built up in that room. And yeah, I told you about how we drove like 100 miles away to go and bury it. And it felt like it was suffocating me the whole fucking way. Like, we literally made a grocery visit to Winco on purpose that day because I felt like I was being literally suffocated despite the fact that I was burning sage, and it was in the middle of summer. Yeah, that thing said it was the king. Yeah. And it said, I'm going to get it. So, who is now replaced by his successor, the Holy King of the waning year. The Holy King will rule until the winter solstice. It is the ideal time for divinations, healing rituals, and cutting the divining rods and wands. On Midsummer Day, the people of ancient Russia worship the fertility goddess Capella?
I don't know much about Russian lore. I can't pronounce it.
To ensure female fertility and abundance of crops, she was honored with bonfire sacrifices and special wreaths that were casted into rivers. Yeah. I never even read that day until now. But then the other day that was the Goldfield incident. Which is funny because I uploaded it as it being the 9th because we did it on Curtis's birthday. But we got there after midnight, so it was actually the 10th. So, the 9th, which was the annual rite of the Lemira, was performed on this date in ancient Roman times to appease the restless spirits of the dead, the Lemirs, who materialized on this day to haunt the homes where they had once lived. So I was in Goldfield, which I'm thoroughly in Goldfield a lot. Hence why all those photos and stuff. The Lemira was also held on the 11th or 13th of May as a part of the rite. Black beans, and that's what he said about the black tossing the black, symbolized with the underworld, were tossed as offerings to the ghosts, and a powerful prayer was recited 9 times. That's that thing, 9 times. I need to keep fucking remembering that, damn it. I need to look up I need to figure out what planet is associated with the Lemiras. I mean, I probably already know, but... And then 9 times.
9 is regarded as the 9 realms and
yeah.
And so on and so forth.
I know, remember, that's why I got the that candle thing the other day? Because it has 9 holes on it. I'm like, I think I need this.
The 9 lines which make up the web of weird, so on and so forth.
Yeah, so then it actually happened into the 10th of May, and I never read this part. The sacred marriage of the god Shiva and the goddess Meenakshi, Meenakshi, is celebrated annually on this day by faithful followers of the Madrai in India. Sacred hymns are sung, and offerings of incense and white flower petals are made at all temples dedicated to Shiva. Isn't Shiva that crazy, like, multiple-armed bitch?
That's Kali.
Oh.
Shiva is the omnipresent essence of everything.
Okay.
Takes many forms, different avatars, so on and so forth.
So that's Juno, pretty much, in astrology. That's the queen of the heavens.
No. Shiva's regarded as the dark one, the black one.
Yeah, Juno's not necessarily a good thing.
No, it's you have to understand morality in Hindu mythology.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really give a fuck about good or evil.
That's what I'm saying. She can be good or bad.
Yeah.
Like, Juno's supposed to be, quote-unquote, one of the healing, asteroids in astrology.
Yeah.
But even if you... I know you weren't paying attention, but like in that Beetlejuice movie, the caseworker that's a total fucking bitch to them, her name is Juno. And I was paying attention to that, and I'm like, yeah, I was like, so she's supposed to help, and you're supposed to respect her, but she's kind of a twat. She can either, like, be your downfall, or she could potentially help you. It doesn't necessarily matter. That's what you're getting.
To give you an idea, Shiva, in modern incarnations of the stuff I'm into, is the primary deity.
Whoa. So Tin Hao, in the Chinese goddess of the North Star, is honored on this day with the annual festival in Hong Kong. So the North Star. So that was the thing that was, when I was looking at the Arabic associations with Betelgeuse, the actual Betelgeuse constellation, it's saying that if there's no vengeance sought, and all my intentions are good, or, to actually be helpful or whatever, I'm not trying to be a psychotic bitch about it, then I'll be successful. Barely. My thing's about to end because it's been... Okay. Let me think. So what's going on right now... I thought about this, I think a couple months ago. I was going through this whole book and highlighting the days that it was good to actually banish spirits, and I got into January and I got sidetracked. So this is the 24th. So, Amaria, Aymara, Indian pot-bellied god of prosperity, is honored on this date with an annual fair called the Alketes.
An important thing to know about these Indian gods, too, is that they're all aspects of Shiva.
In Hungary, a pagan purification ceremony known as the Blessing of the Candle of the Happy Women is performed annually on this date. Damn, that's today. Candle of Happy Women. What the fuck? I knew I was fucking saving this candle somewhere for some reason.
What color is it?
White.
Before you light it, let me look at something, because the color matters.
Yeah, I got books on that. I've already associated the color schemes too, and I just... Let's see. Colors in psychology, yeah. White is not in here. How's that possible? Where's an index, dude? Orange breath? What the fuck? This is way too Pisces for me. I gave up on this book a while ago. Oh yeah, this is getting into aura shit. See, I'm not watery enough for this.
A lot of that is schizophrenic horseshit anyway, so...
Now, this is like people that feel like they really fucking see auras and stuff.
Yeah.
Life colors. Yeah, no.
What does Roman saying about people who believe in what they see?
Yeah, I know. What kind of fucking shit is this? White is not in here. I understand white's not a color. I took color theory, but seriously, like, the Sacred Power book of colors is so fucking...
Yeah, you want to be careful with white candles depending on the context, because they're also used in destruction rites, so...
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, though. What the fuck, damn it. Okay, there it is. Just give me the damn colors, you asshole. Here we go. I'm not actually expecting to do a successful ritual right now. I've only got 3 hours till this day's over. But I figure, I'm like, hell, well, if it says to light a candle, I might as well just light the candle for shits and giggles. I mean, what? It's not gonna do anything worse. And if it is, I'm gonna have to work myself out of that fucking rat hole that I dug myself in. I'm notorious for doing shit like that. But wait, symbolic means of purity, virginity, death, rebirth, beginning of the end, and the far east morning. Lotus.
Functionally a Scorpio kind of thing.
Right. Which is why I have it.
Now, one thing too I've been kind of reading up on too, is when you perform the rite, it all needs to be left there after it's done. You don't refer to it, you don't keep dwelling on it over with the rite.
Yeah, no, I'm good
You
at
do
that.
it there, and it's done, it's clean, you don't worry about it.
I know. I'm really good at letting things go. I've gotten over that. I used to not be very good at that, but I've totally gotten over just letting things go. I totally let too much go sometimes now. Yeah. I'll just move that shit. So I've got my frankincense burning already. I smell it. Oh my god. So I've talked about how they hate bells. I've struggled to find an actual good bell, except for I never thought to go to a music store. But I don't need to get a giant fucking bell. But I got this bell actually from the dollar store, funny enough. It's like in the office section. I got this cute little thing for Halloween. And it fits on there perfectly. It's like, it's never gonna come out.
Bells to be rung before the rite, clear the space for your own vibrations.
Yeah. 1. Okay, so that book associated with the white candle being the symbol of transformation, new beginnings, death, rebirth. So this is going to be the official mental psyching myself out of, you're getting out of my fucking house. I can't get rid of the thing that's attached to my mom, that's her own problem. But I've obviously brought more things home, or there's other things going on. And the only reason why we haven't done something psycho to each other, or to ourselves, or whatever else, is because we actually love the Yeni stuff.
Speaking of which, you're gonna want some.
That's some right there. Be careful with this one.
Okay.
I don't remember if I have any other jars where I just need to make straight anise and not put anything else in it.
Okay.
Because I know that one of those things says not to take it, like, regularly.
Okay. Well, I don't drink it regularly.
Well, sometimes you do. Which, I mean, I'm not even saying that's a bad thing, because that's actually really good, but yeah. So I got the, just for visuals, if anybody wanted to see. You see up right there, I have like a little mantle thing on the wall that had my, there you go. There it is, that candle. It's lit right there.
You're cold?
And Boo can't be possessed today. I think it's funny. This is like one of the only toys I have from when I was a kid. It's a Beetlejuice thing. Yeah. Mom says, I wish this thing was still in a package. You know how much money you'd get for that? I'm like, fuck that. This is one of the original action figures, dude. Like, horribly 80s painted. And my mom to get me that. You know how I had to be like 3 or 4 years old when I got this? So my dad got me like a Child's Play doll, fucked with the thing in the deck. Mom got me these Beetlejuice things. I thoroughly knew what Pet Sematary and all that stuff was before I was 7. And I remember scaring the neighbor kids like Danny. I remember Danny actually went to therapy. No, it wasn't Danny, it was Miranda went to therapy after I made them watch the Exorcist movie and spend the night at my house. I could turn all the lights out and scare the fuck out of them. And then I could actually do that crab walk thing, and I tried like running down the hallway like that when they were there. Oh my god, dude. That was horrible.
Yeah, Yogg-Sothoth. I am the key.
I'm sure I actually had help with that. But at least this batch here, this is just going to be just anise and lemon. So you can actually chug this one down.
Hooray.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of ginger in it, but really nothing.
That ginger actually goes well with the lemon, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, rum would taste good, just as good as bourbon, right? Because one thing I like about this is that since vodka's clear, when it turns brown, I know for sure that it's absorbed all the anise. When I use bourbon, I can't visually have that. It obviously works.
I prefer the notes of bourbon over rum. And additionally, rum has additional sugars in it, so...
Well, because I want to do something clear.
Yeah.
I prefer to have something clear.
Stick with the vodka.
Okay.
The rum just has additional sugars, which the inflammatory properties of that actually counteract what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So.
When you get a chance, Boo, can you put that underneath the... over there? I can't bend down.
Where's it need to go?
The bottle so it doesn't get damaged or anything. Fascinating. Okay, and this.